So I just noticed that my scoliosis is going away. And I made a few videos about it, but recently I have started going to a thing called Yumeiho therapy. Basically, it's just a Japanese massage. And boy, did it really change my life. So, first of all, I'm not a person that's into massages, and I'm actually like avoiding people. I have my own traumas that I've been through, and I'm learning like, oh, I need to connect to people, not just, emotionally and psychologically, but on a physical level, like touch them and all. And so I just happened to work out and like injure my back a little bit. And I was looking like, well, I don't really like doctors, so I was gonna go try out something else. And I ended up finding Yumeiho therapy. It was more like, I don't know, like this intuition, like, because I've looked on stuff online on, okay, I want something different, like holistic stuff, maybe something like not by the system or not the usual way, but something that would be like as crazy as my world. And I found like, okay, this one just feels right, feels like I should click this button. And then I ended up going there, and boy, did my life change. It's like the best way I can describe it. It is the origami of a physical human body. Like you're gonna get folded and ridden by this monkey and everything else. Like the way it looks from a side, it might be crazy and scary, but it feels amazing. Like the moment I get, fingers touching my neck and shoulders, I get tingles all over my body. And like for me, I've had scoliosis and it wasn't like too much of a thing, but I could definitely feel my body like being shifted in a certain way and working. Like I've had tons of things that caused it, but also like, bullying and everything else. Like a lot of it for me was psychological, to the point where even my movements in life were pretty much like condensed in a box. Like I wasn't moving freely. I was like just like a robot walking and everything else. I never noticed. I thought it was natural. And then I'm like this whole thing, Yumeiho, brought like such a massive awareness of my physical body. And like I don't know if I ever was so connected and so aware of all of the things that happening to me. And now I am. Like the most amazing thing for like first that happened after the very first thing, like for first therapy, was that, like sitting on PC, working and everything else, like you get it kind of like hunchback, like, like constantly like this. And, like it wasn't chronic, it wasn't big, it was just slowly going there. I had no idea. It was comfortable. And my just back got popped, like how you go to the chiropractor and they pop your back, put it in place and everything else. And I got that happen. Like that was like, like the whole, like about an hour or let's say 15 minutes, you get your body squeezed and fold and everything else. It's just like physical therapy of being moved the right way of what your body needs for whatever your situation is. But I got so much more out of it than just scoliosis going away. And basically, like I've been there about 8 times once a week. And I'm already noticing massive differences in my spine. And, like, I don't know, there's just like tons of changes happening in my life. But like all of a sudden, I'm just standing straight and it feels freaking comfortable. Because now when I start to bend over and go like this and my, like the whole front goes like, it starts pinching. It starts like, it's not comfortable anymore. Like, and I can't believe I was sitting like that for years. So all of a sudden, it's like, I'm sitting straight and like standing straight and walking differently. The mood is way better than usual. But another like interesting thing is that, like through the whole process, he would like squish my stomach and work on it, like certain parts that would need to like go back in place, or like I have no words of how to translate whatever he say to me. Like I don't know the specific words that I would need to explain to you of what he's doing to my body. But it's nothing that. But it's like squeezing certain parts where, like for my system, I used to have like pretty bad period cramps. And a lot of it for me was traumatic, psychological, emotional, like say from past lives of what was built up, like being abandoned and losing things and everything else and stabbed in the stomach. And like however weird you'd like to go into, okay, what's this crazy girl talking about? But the other part is that, like I've dealt with most of it. But then he would just like, let's say my legs would be folded. Like I would be laying on my back. My legs are like bent. You would have that sort of like thing. And I'm like sitting like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like laying there, you're just squishing my stomach for a little bit. Like, just like there's certain movement, but like few times after that, I'm like, okay, my period is coming up, like brace yourself, right? For like all the hard stuff. And it was the best period ever. It felt like normal week in my entire life. It's like, oh, it's just another week. It's just like a little bit of flow, no pain, no, like it was just like better than usual. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's amazing. And the guy that like was working on me is like, I'm amazed because like he's constantly not just sort of like, okay, well, got done, bye, but he would explain what's going on to my body as he works on me and things that I can do for myself to help myself, like breathing exercises and everything else, and how I should move and all. And I've learned that like a lot of people, like he had like successfully like 4 or 5 clients right now that like girls like had like fertility issues and they couldn't get the baby, but the cause of it, like what the doctors didn't see, is that the muscles would spasm, or like the muscles would have spasms and the blood wouldn't like, or the like bloodstream wouldn't go normally, and the egg would just get squished or like couldn't get through, so you couldn't get pregnant. And with all the massages that he was doing, and like there's a whole group of people working on various things. It's not just Yumeiho therapy, like the acupuncture is like one of the little things, but they have the whole thing covered. Like yeah, whatever. So basically, like the girls are just going there for the massages, and a few weeks after that, like they get their body fixed, or the bloodstream is normal, and they get pregnant. And now like they've had babies, and boom, like what the hell? Like doctors said like, no, there's no chance. And they just didn't see that part. So for me, like it's amazing of, like, hey, I'm finding out more about how the physical body works and everything else. And like for me, like to see my body straightening up, the mood's going crazy, as in like happy, normal, like wow, like why am I enjoying life so much? Like I know like people are going through a lot and everything else, but my life is good. And I'm like, I'm just liking it. I'm just enjoying this phase of my life right now. Anyway, another little changes that happened to me is that my body started craving for betterment. And that means, like I stopped wanting to eat as much. My appetite changed. Like if I used to just like, like, yeah, whatever. Like I was like pretty much like losing controlling my diet. I just like, okay, no, I don't want to eat. The appetite just like literally changed overnight, or like, like just a first time working on myself. And then, like, okay, like great, I have to eat today. And I was like, I don't want to eat as much. So my whole appetite, like for the last few weeks, was been like one meal a day, that intermittent fasting. And it's going great. Like I feel awesome. So like not just the appetite, the body's craving for, like, hey, I want physical exercises. So now I started working out, and it's been like I'm losing weight. Like, hey, like finally, like something that it's always that like working out and getting better with, I don't feel like doing it. Like, yeah, I know I should. I know why. I might have a goal there, but I don't want to do it. Like, there's just so many things happening. And now it's just like, do it. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not, if you're inspired or motivated or not, just do it. Just fucking do it. And like, I just start. And then once I start, like, it doesn't feel that bad. And then I continue, and oh, look, it's not that bad anymore. And like, I get a decent workout out of the deal like every day. And boom, like I'm noticing changes myself. So like, I don't know, like there's a lot of people looking for ways. And for me, it was big because on my part, like when my parents went to school, and if someone around them would have scoliosis, the doctors back then, my parents are like, my dad is 50 something, my mom's gonna get close to 50 right now. So basically like 30 years ago, people were saying, like, oh, well, if you have scoliosis, you're fucked for life. And then when I was in school, they say like, you need to get on this iron bar or whatever it's called and just hang on it or go swimming. And, my parents couldn't afford swimming stuff, and it was just summertime, and it's still like far away from lake, so it wasn't a thing. And then the doctor said again, like, oh, it's kind of like too late. You're not going to change it. You're just going to stick with it. Like, or like you can really work at it, but nothing's going to happen. And I went to Yumeiho therapy for a little back injury I had. And now I'm staying because like the way people go to the church and the way people do something in their life because they're loving it, for me, like right now, it's an expression of self-love. Like I'm just going to treat myself and spoil myself with this awesome thing. And, you know, like I'm looking in my country, it costs like $35 for like an hour therapy. And it's like pretty awesome. Like I get relaxed. Like it's not just the physical therapy. It's like I see like my mental health is getting so much better. So yeah, in that regard, like I'm just amazed. I'm just like, holy cow, like it's just 8 therapies and my life is changing radically. And I can't wait to see what's happening next. And whoever needs something like this, like maybe they're looking for an alternative way, you know, maybe look up Yumeiho therapy, physical therapy. There's so many things in life that we don't know about. And, you know, like I'm like right now, like so into human body, learning how we work and why, and, you know, like how it's all connected, and every single pain point has a thing for it. And like, I'm just like freaking amazed. So anyway, I might go into learning that as well. We'll see. Like, it's just like something to look at. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to share this little thing with you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you have Yumeiho therapy in your town, try it out at least once. See how it works. Anyway, that being said, bye-bye.